What's going on, YouTube? We're back for another Back for Blood deck build video, and today we're going to be talking one that's probably not a deck that just about anybody can use. It's a bit more challenging to use, but I saw a few cards that made for an interesting deck that added some more DPS, just some more damage overall, and it's essentially doesn't need reload at all. Now we'll get into the cards and I'll explain why it's a bit more challenging and what comes out of it, but it's a solid build. It's a bit more for fun, but it does put out some serious damage. Now, if you just want to copy and paste the deck, obviously I'll have a list down in the description of each card in order with name, and we'll just hop right in. Obviously 2 is 1 and 1 is none. We're going to be utilizing an AR and an SMG in this type of build, specifically a ranch rifle with a vector, and I'll get into why that is later on. Admin reload. When you stow your weapon, it's just going to reload it while it's in there, and it's fairly quick. I mean, almost as soon as you put it in there, maybe a second or two, boom. Just enough for you to unload the mag and then be able to pull out the next weapon. Ammo capacity, we're going to fix that later on. Now, power swap, this is a big card that basically adds the more damage by changing your weapon within 0.75 seconds of reaching low ammo, grants 20% damage for 5 seconds. This is the part that really makes it challenging because you kind of, or with a lot of the weapons, you'll have to keep an eye on when you reach that critical ammo or low ammo point and immediately switch over, because it is only 0.75 seconds, and that's you got to keep your eye on it pretty quickly in order to catch that. But when you do, it's a big damage buff and it's worthwhile, and about the only weapons that I've found really work well with this build are going to be the Vector and the Ranch Rifle. Ranch Rifle has high damage and a low mag, and the Vector, it shoots so fast that by the time you empty the clip, it's within this time frame to switch weapons. So you're essentially going to be using that Vector to empty it and then move to the Ranch Rifle to put down that AR DPS. And that's pretty much why it's a bit more challenging, but it's fun and highly powerful. Now, guns out, we're just going to increase that swap speed. That way you don't have much time in between, especially if you're getting hit by a horde. This loadout will clear pretty quickly as well. It's solid by all means. Hydration pack, we're going to use that in order to mitigate the 30% health gone for the 25% damage. Patient Hunter, because a lot of the times you're going to be ADS, so you're going to have that 30% more DPS going down. Shredder, just add another 15% because we're using auto rifles. We got the Vector immediately pumping out every round possible, so you're going to shoot up to that 15% extremely quickly. And then switch over to the Ranch Rifle. Mag Carrier, just a supplement for the loss of ammo capacity and add SMG damage. Right after that, we're going to have Tactical Vest to get that assault rifle ammo and 10% more damage on that. Ridden Slayer, obviously we want that weak spot damage. You can't always hit it sometimes, but just having that moment when you do hit it with extra damage, with all the damage you've got topped on right now, you're going to be clearing out pretty quickly. Silver Bullet. Biggest thing about this is the bullet penetration. You want your rounds to be going through some of those horde because you will need to clear at times. So you want, say if they're in a line or they're at a choke point, you don't exactly want to be wasting ammo, especially if it's only going through 1 or 2 and there's a massive horde coming on you. So this will punch through them and damage most of them and possibly kill multiple at a time while you're just shooting in one line. But the 10% damage also helps as well. Reckless Strategy. Obviously, we want that 50% going down. Obviously, we can't throw in... I would love to throw this in, but the ADS move speed... considering we're swapping weapons all the time and we're going to be ADS'd a lot for the Patient Hunter, you could throw this in if you wanted to take out those 2 cards and possibly put 2 more in for aim speed or something else. That is something you could do. Or you could just stack it in there with it if you don't mind the slow movement speed. But I will say the negative 75% ADS move speed will slow you down quite a bit to the point where you're very stiff. Not a whole lot of movement with that. But if you're willing to do that, you can add some more punch to this build and make it a hell of a lot more damaging. Now, Padded Suit, just to mitigate all that damage resistance, you will need an absolute solid healer with this build. Not much for high protection on this build. You are solely going for that DPS, and a lot of times you're going to be taking some hits with this kind of build. You're kind of moving around, you're constantly swapping weapons. It's not always as easy to melee somebody while you're trying to swap for that 20% more damage. And last but not least, down in front, while crouching, you need to take nor deal friendly fire damage, and you add 10 health, something for a bit of protection for people you're around, or possibly if you're in front of other people, this could help you. Maybe you don't have the best teammates in the world, and they don't have the most cracked shot, and they're just kind of spraying everywhere. This would be a really good card to throw in sometimes for teammates like that or friends like that. But yeah, that's the build, guys. I hope you like it. It's definitely not going to be one for everybody, but I thought it was an interesting build. I really enjoyed using it, but it is a bit challenging, and it can be frustrating when you miss that 0.75 seconds to get that 20%. But if you're looking for something new, just to try something out, give something a go, this is one to change up the game for you. Don't believe this would be good in Nightmare, but Veteran, yeah, you can excel with it for the most part, as long as you're hitting that 20% damage. The rest of the damage, I mean, it does good, but you're kind of relying on that a large portion because you're starting off with it and you don't have much weak spot damage before that. But as you go through, it's going to get easier and easier, especially once you get that weak spot damage. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this build. If you have any questions about some cards you may not have, you want to replace, just ask me down in the comments or hit that link in the description. Follow me over at Twitch. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have over there anytime I'm live. And if you need some supply points, say you don't have any cards and you're looking to push through some supply lines, I've got a link down in the description on a build to farm Act 2, and it's very profitable. Every 4 minutes, another 100 supply points. Yeah, hope you guys have a good one.